my name is Yula, and today we're gonna read the one and only Ivan. So we should start reading from Drawing Bob chapter, and we should end the reading at some kind of Beatles story for today. Now, already for read this one, we got a lot of stories. Now here we go. And first we should read the one and only Ivan, starting at Drawing Bob chapter. I love Julia's pictures of Bob. She draws him flying across the page, a blur of feet and far. She draws him motionless, peeking out from behind a trash can or the soft heel of my belly. Sometimes in her drawings, Julia gives Bob wings or a lion's mane. Once she gave him a tortoise shell. But the best thing she ever gave him wasn't the drawing. Julia gave Bob his name. For a long time, no one knew what to call Bob. Now and then a mole worker would try to approach him with a tidbit. Here, doggy, they called, holding out with a French fry. Come on, Porch, they'd say. How about a little piece of sandwich? But he would always vanish into the shadows before anyone could get too close. One afternoon, Julia decided to draw a little dog curled up in the corner of my domain. First, she watched him for a long time, chewing on her thumbnail. I would tell she was looking at him the way an artist looks at the word when she is trying to understand it. Finally, she grabbed her pencil and set to work. When she was finished, she held up the page. Then he was the tiny big-eared dog. He was smart and cunning, but his gaze was wistful. Under the picture were 3 bold, confident marks, colored in the black. I was pretty certain it was a word, even though I couldn't read it. Julia's feathers peered over her shoulder. That's him, exactly, he said, nodding. He pointed to the circle marks. I didn't realize his name was Bob, he said. Me neither, said Julia. She smiled. I had to draw him first. Draw him first. Now it's Bob and Julia. Bob will not let humans touch him. He says they're second opposites his destination. But every now and then I see him sitting at Julia's feet. Her fingers move gently just behind his right ear. Usually Mac lives after the last show, but tonight he was in office working late. When he's done, he stops by my domain and stares at me for a long time while he drinks a brown bottle. George joins him, broom in his hand, and Mac says the thing he always says, how about the game last night? Business had been slow, but it will get better, you'll see, and don't forget to empty the trash. Mac glanced over the picture Julia's drawing. What are you making? He says. It's for my mom, Julia says. It's a flying dog. She holds up her drawing, eyeing it correctly. She likes airplanes and dogs. Mac mutters, standing unconvinced. He looks at George. How's the wife dog anyway? About the game, George says. She has good days and bad days. Yeah, don't we all? Mac says. Mac starts to leave, then pauses. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out a crumpled green bill, and presses it into George's hand. Here, Mac says with a shrug. But buy the kids some more crayons. Mac is already out of the door before George can yell, Thanks! Now, next chapter, Not Sleepy. Stella, I say after Julia and her father go home. I can't sleep. Of course you can, she says. You're the king of sleepers. Shh, Bob says from his porch of my belly. I'm dreaming about chili fries. I'm tired, I say, but I'm not sleepy. What are you tired of? Stella asks. I think for a while. It's hard to put the words. Gorillas are not campaigners. We're dreamers, poets, peers, nap takers. I don't know exactly. I kick on my tire swing. I think I may be a little tired of my domain. That's because it's a cage, Bob tells me. Bob is always cheerful. I know, Stella says. It's a very small domain. And you're a big gorilla, Bob asks. Stella? I ask. Yes. I notice you're limping more than usual today. Is your leg bothering you? Just a little, Stella answers. I sigh. Bob bristles. His eyes flick. He drools a bit, but I don't mind. I'm used to it. Try eating something, Stella says. That always makes you happy. I eat an old brown carrot. It doesn't help, but I don't tell Stella. She needs to sleep. You cannot remembering a good day, Stella suggests. That's what I do when I can't sleep. Stella remembers every moment since she was born. Every scent, every sunset, every slide, every victory. You know I can't remember much, I say. That's the difference, Stella says gently, between I can remember and won't remember. That's true, I admit. Don't remember it can't be difficult, but I have a lot of time working on it. Memories are precious, Stella adds. They help you tell us who we are. Try remembering all your keepers. You always like Carl. And one with the harmonica. Curl, yes. I can remember how he's giving me a coconut when I was still a juvenile. It took me a day to open it. I try to recall other keepers I have known, the humans who cleaned my domain and prepared my food, and sometimes kept my company. There was John, who poured up pipses into my waiting mouth, and Karatina, who used to poke me with the broom and when I was sleeping, and Ellen, who sang, "How much is that monkey in the window?" with a sad smile while she scrubbed my water bowl. And there was Gerald, who once brought me a box of fat, sweet strawberries. Gerald was my favorite keeper. I haven't had a real keeper in a long time. Max says he doesn't have the money for pay the apple baby sister. These days, George cleans my cage and Mac is one who feeds me. And when I think about all people who have taken care of me, mostly it's Mac I recall day in and day out, day after year after year. Mac who brought me to raise me and says I'm no longer cute, as if a silverback could ever be cute. Moonlight falls on the frozen carousel on the silent popcorn stand, on the stall of leather belts that smell like a long-gone cows. The heavy work of Stella's briefing sounds like the wind in trees. I wait for sleep to find me. Now it's the Beetle chapter. So we should start reading from the Beetle chapter, and we should start reading from the Beetle chapter for tomorrow, and then reading us some chapter for tomorrow again. Now, did you have fun? You're listening to Country. We come back with some more animal story in the circus and more gorilla stories for tomorrow. Now, please thumbs up my YouTube, and bye-bye everyone.